Go.
Hi, I'm Grammy Fox Sloan. I started Child and Family Rights Response Team and Child and Family Rights Advocates of Santa Cruz County, California. And the reason why I started it, I really had to start it, because I am one of millions of system-induced trauma syndrome survivors around the United States. We're going to touch on that a little bit later, but my big issue that I'm dealing with right now is I'm in my family home, a house that became a home. My mother designed it, my father built it, I grew up here. And because of issues with my mother's passing and settling the estate, I've got to buy out a sibling. Problem is, it's going to cost me around $500,000 to do it. I can't lose my home. It's been home to 4 generations. I have not given up hope of ever losing my youngest granddaughter forever. This is one of the things child and family rights advocates do, especially the guardian grandmothers, is we work day and night. We've lost hair, weight, sleep, thousands and thousands of hours, literally, online, looking for clues, looking for ways, looking for laws, looking for advice on how we're going to get our grandkids back. So this is one of the reasons that I want to keep this home, so that my youngest granddaughter, who was stolen and sold by CPS, which we call Child Procurement Syndicate, will be back. Never going to give up hope on that. And the other reason is that this has been a safe haven. People who are in domestic violence situations can come here. Abusers, this is off their radar. Abusers usually go to the known shelters. Nobody comes here. I've also taken in families that were hit on hard times, or sometimes families that were hiding from CPS. And we have meetings here, and we work on legislation. That's the biggie, is I work with individuals and groups around the state and around the nation who are working on legislation. And that's how we save our children, is by changing the laws. And these laws have been in place for like 50 years. So there's like 50 years of families that have been forcibly separated, alienated, and totally erased. Now, I heard, Ocasio, OAC, and she was just raging about what's happening at the border with these children, and that these families are being ripped apart. These unaccompanied minors are being ripped away from their families, and it's like, wait a minute, they're unaccompanied, so where are their families? But she felt that because the United States is responsible for housing in cages these kids, that we owe them reparation. And I was at a march about 3 years ago when the first weaponization of people by George Soros pushed these people into our country. And they're down there in Santa Cruz, and they're marching, and we got to do something. And I'm the lone soldier with my red, white, and blue. What about American families? What about our kids? And some people honestly didn't even know what I was talking about. They had no idea that you go down from the courthouse and out to Emmeline, and they're stealing and selling children every day. And some people even looked at me and were like not happy that I was bringing this up, that I was disrupting their issue, and that they had to maintain the focus on the children that were coming in illegally. My issue is, children are children. I don't care what color they are. I don't care what age they are. I don't care what country they came from. They're children. And our children need help. Our children need to be rescued from the same system that is victimizing these kids. So that's another thing that we do here at this house is legislation. One of the dreams that I have had and have been working on it is I've done a lot of landscaping around the house. I've done the subscape, the hardscape, the softscape. We have 6-foot fencing pretty much all around the place because we do have resident mountain lions and coyotes over in the back on the forest side. And I've worked really hard to make this a place where we have pools and fountains, and it's a place of respite and retreat. And there's moms, and I've been one of them, where you're like pulling your hair out and you just want to break from the routine, and you need some place to come and just recharge. And this is one of the needs that it'll fulfill. Another thing that we've been working on is in the front. It's all south facing, and we have lots and lots of garden space for vegetables. We have, let me think, 3 loquats, and they produce like buckets. We've got 9 plums, 2 peach, and they're all producing. I've given up on the apricot, truthfully, but this is something where I want children to be able to come that are homeschooled, so they have an outdoor, nurturing, organic environment that they'll have garden plots, they'll be able to grow vegetables, they'll be able to pick fruit, and then they'll be able to take it home, they'll be able to process it, can it, preserve it, whatever. These skills cannot be lost. In my day, I learned how to can from my mother and my grandmother. And we also want to expand because getting back to the needs of these families that have been forcibly separated is we're working on the Family Restoration Project. It is a documentary, and we are interviewing families on their history of how they were traumatized. Again, system-induced trauma syndrome. We're the survivors. My mother, my daughter, my husband are not. They are the casualties. So we want to prevent suicides. We want to prevent this depression. We want to help people heal. It's like I've walked through the fires of hell, losing like my husband and my son-in-law and good friends and kids that were friends of my kids, I mean in their 20s, that died so young. And of course my mom, and that was the hardest one, is my mom passed away at almost 105. And it wasn't of old age, it was of a broken heart, because the last 5 years of her life, she was not allowed to see her great-grandchildren who lived in this home, had breakfast and dinner with her. We went to all kinds of family and school events, parades, memorial parade down on Pacific Avenue. All this, I mean, how many kids have a great-grandparent? And that was really tough. That's been hard to get over, is mom not having those last years of her life with her family. And being Italian, family's everything. So we have we're just on like a third of an acre here, but it's a very busy third of an acre. We have chickens, we have a few ducks, and some cage birds, and there's, besides the gardening, is horticulture. Besides the horticulture, there's animal husbandry. We have a production office where we do videos, so the kids will learn how to do video productions. We have a large craft area with lots of materials, and in here, actually, we have a lot of sewing. We've got 3 sewing machines and fabric and rickrack and thread and everything, so that it's not only for kids, but it's also for moms. Out in the garage, a 2-car garage, part of it's production office, part of it is art studio, there's a lot of moms that don't have space to do projects. and they can come here and refinish furniture or make yard art or birdhouses or whatever. We want to provide a space for them. We have a beta bowl fish project where we make custom-made beta bowls and we decorate them and we use found items and embellish them, and so they're not like anything you're going to see in the store. And the way we set them up, you water them like a plant. You don't have to clean them if you balance them right. So we have lots and lots of ways that people can engage, and we especially, the succulents. We grow all kinds of succulents, and we have containers, ceramic. We pick them up on the road. People put them out for free, or the garage sales, and we can set up these little mini gardens and either sell them, because we are a not-for-profit. We are self-funding. We don't have a 501, don't need the government in our business, as they say. And these kids can make these for sale, or they can give them to veterans as a housewarming gift. And that's another soft spot that I have, is for the veterans. And we have 5 acres up in the hills, and we really are my son-in-law, thank goodness, is a carpenter. He's actually a contractor. And we've been talking about, along with Claire Machado, is starting tiny houses. And we have enough space on our 5 acres where we could put up 3 tiny houses comfortably for veterans. And my daughter is also involved. She's a customer care consultant at a local pet supply company. So. And she's worked with animals for years, so that's another thing that we're working on, is getting a kennel area set up so the veterans, when they go to the VA, if they're gone for any length of time, will be able to care for their animals at no charge. And we have a van, and we can transport the animal. If the vet's going to be gone for any length of time, there's not going to be that stress between the two of them. We'll be able to do visits with their pet and the people. So anyway, the big plan is we're looking at properties that are large pieces. One was 65, one was close to 100, and then I've got my eye on another one in another state that's over 200 acres, and these are already set up. They have like hotel facilities on them. They've been like retreats or event centers. And this is where we want to be able to take families so they can spend time with qualified Christian therapists and restore the family bond, get over the trauma that they've been through, and have a future. And believe me, it's we have not had an Easter dinner since 2000. The last one was 2012, and my son-in-law was murdered a couple of months later. So basically, we haven't had an Easter dinner since 2013. And for anybody that lives with that void, my heart really goes out to you, because we have done, I'm not a counselor. I mean, I'm not a licensed counselor, don't even pretend to be, but I have walked and experienced great loss and system-induced trauma, and can have a real understanding for what anyone else is going through that's in that same situation. And we have a wonderful group of people like Monica, the healing coach, and her husband is an alternative physician, really great doctor. And we work with attorneys. We work with other holistic counselors, Christian counselors. And I've worked and raised therapy animals. And whenever we have kittens or puppies, the priority is always children, elders, special needs people, and vets. And we've also accumulated a lot of things like stuffed toys and games and clothes that we keep on hand just in case there's a need. A lot of people have been talking about the great shaking Volcanoes are kind of going a little bit crazy all over the planet. Volcanologists are having a field day. They don't know which volcano to go to because they're all just a-popping. And we have the Cascadia fault line that comes down through Oregon and from Washington, Oregon, and into Northern California. And somehow it joins with the San Andreas. And forever, people have been hypothesizing that the entire west coast of the United States is going to fall off into the Pacific Ocean. And there are some people that say, yeah, that's totally possible. So that's another thing that we're prepared for. We have food, we have water, we have medical supplies, we have camping equipment, we have barbecue pits, we have anything and everything you will need in case this actually happens. We will be able to shelter and take care of children long term until we can move them out of the area to a higher ground, safer place. So anyway, I and the group really need your help in getting the word out that this is what we've been doing. I've been in this for since November of 2012. And other people have been in it longer. Some are just getting into this issue with CPS and family court. Family court is the other head of the two-headed monster. We've got CPS, which is children and their family against the state, and over here we have family divorce custody hearings, and it's parent versus parent, and they're both ugly, and they do children absolutely no good whatsoever. So anybody that wishes to help spread the word, I'd love to find a multi-millionaire out there who has an understanding and an appreciation for what we're doing and can help us just in case the conventional loan doesn't go through, because I don't make enough on my fixed income. And people actually think I'm old, which I take great offense at. I figure if my mom and my grandma lived to be over 100, I got a few miles left in me. So anyway, we're looking for people to join and help with this, with the Shepherds Homeschoolers campus right here, the Child and Family Rights Advocates, and then just to keep this home in the family and continue its legacy of sheltering and helping and just basically loving people. So anyway, I'm going to show you a sign. And this is what we've got going. And that's our number at the bottom. 831-515-7079. Just give us a call. Any help would be great. We have lots of stuff coming up for sale. Futons, china cabinets, let's see, a commode, tchotchkes, knickknacks, shoes, pretty much everything. So anyway, I thank everybody for taking the time to watch this video. And if you're sharing it on YouTube, please make it go viral. And thank you, and many blessings. I'm Grammy Fox Sloan. Thank you.